with the food, more than 2 M's for sure, but add another two. And no amendment, the big man's the GT down, flipping the kickstand. Rich nigga, broke phone, trying to keep the balance, I'm staying strong. Stop playing with me before I turn you to a song. Stop playing with me before I turn you to a song. Hey, bitch, I'm attractive, can't fuck with you no more, I'm fasting. Bitch, I'm attractive, can't fuck with you no more, I'm fasting. What is good? It is LordOfLips here, ready to get into this motherfucking episode. It's late, and we got a lot of shit to talk about. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar waiving the copyrights and us being able to react to some of his music on the channels. Rich Spirit, Broke Phone. Stop playing with me before I turn you to a song. Let's go. But anyways, let's get into it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below. Thumbs up in the comments. Leave a comment on what you would like for me to touch on next. We are getting into closing up this rap civil war that's been going on for, I think this is the 7th week that we're in it. So it started with the Like That record. Some people trace it back to the first person shooter. The Like That record came out back in March and led to the series of events. We know what happened over the past weekend, last weekend. The back and forth, Spit for Spat, Meet the Grams, Family Matters, 616 in LA. Classic hip hop weekend, amazing weekend for the culture. Everybody tuned in. I mean, this just blew up. This was on NBC, ABC, Good Morning America. Joe Rogan talked about. I mean, this is just Elon Musk was involved. Now wrestlers are promoting it, using it. The Joe Biden campaign used Euphoria as a slight at Donald Trump. This is just taken to new heights. So we got the two biggest rappers, I would say, at this time, the two most polarizing figures in music right now going at it. And we are coming to a conclusion. It looks like the results are in, and we have a fucking winner. And it looks like Mr. Kendrick Lamar dropped the ether on Mr. Aubrey Graham. We talked about last episode, kind of the direction and the chess that was being played. But I wanted to kind of get into the UMG versus the TMZ report that was floating out there. UMG early this week on Twitter, it was floating around. There was a picture, just a screenshot that UMG Universal Music Group had tapped the lines of both artists who are both under that umbrella and said that they needed to somehow maneuver out of this beef. They wanted Kendrick to apologize and come out and make a statement saying that Drake is not a pedophile. That's what the post said. This post was not verified. It never was verified. In fact, TMZ came out and said that this was far from the truth. This never happened. I say that to say, because I told you on last episode what I felt, that I do believe calls were made. I don't necessarily know if a meeting was had, like a Zoom call between both teams or anything like that. I don't necessarily believe that. But I do believe that the higher people and the higher ups did make a phone call regarding this beef and wanting it to have a friendly type of exit. Not a friendly type of exit, but some kind of exit to where they can clear up some of this damage that has been done. We have a whole character assassination. We got somebody shooting off the balcony and sniping another person's character here, and it just looks bad right now for this person. I mean, Andrew Schultz was just on stage. He got booed. He mentioned Drake's name. Drake got booed, and LeBron James is now being seen. It's just looking, everything's starting to look a little bit shaky. I mean, everything is starting to look a little bit bad for Drake right now. It just looks like it's going to be a long summer for the guy. So, as far as that report, TMZ said it was not true, but I thought it was interesting that Peter Rosenberg had said that same day, and he's very closely connected to some industry insider. I mean, he is an industry insider, but he's also connected to some execs and managers and stuff. He said he heard the same thing. Not that necessarily, he didn't quote that post or anything, but he said talks were had or talks are being had um, about how they could kind of patch this thing up. Not both parties come together and do a kumbaya and sing and dance together and go have a video, but just there's a lot of money involved, and it looks like Drake and Lucy, Mr. Lucy himself, Mr. Lucifer. I'm gonna call him Lucy for y'all for those who have been following Kendrick a long time. We know what the Lucy reference is, but Mr. Lucian Grain is set. I mean, Drake signed a $400 million deal. We talked about that. We talked about him not going independent when he was free. He re-signed his contract, $400 million deal, biggest deal in hip hop history, right? So with that being said, he said him and Lucy are like Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe, and he wasn't going nowhere. And fuck independence, you know. And it's a power play, and this ruffled a lot of feathers within the industry, especially within the hip hop culture, because this has happened before with Drake. I mentioned this as well, that back in 2016 or 2015, 2016, when Tidal was coming up, and Apple was just now premiering and getting out of the iTunes era. And they were signing exclusive artists, Frank Ocean, Chance the Rapper. Well, Drake did an exclusive deal with Apple too, and it blew him. It took him to new heights, and that's when Views came out, did 1.2 million first week, and he had the billboards and all that stuff. He did a deal with Apple, an exclusive deal with Apple. But if you remember, Kanye and Jay Z had beef with Drake because they were trying to get him to go over the title. And at the time, Drake is the biggest fish in the pond in the hip hop space as far as sales and mainstream goes. So to get him to go over to there would have been a big move for the culture. But he decided not to do that. That stemmed with a lot of their beef. Um, I say that to say it is now also being reported that Drake, this beef alone is costing Lucy $149 million. I don't know how they're getting that metric. I don't know what it could be more, especially I mean for Drake on Drake's end. I mean this guy could seriously suffer losing sponsorships and stuff like that. No one wants to be attached and have their company attached to those allegations. I mean they're not necessarily allegations. No one's filed anything yet, but if you guys kind of know how this works as far as these lawsuits go, whether it be true or not, this just opens the floodgates. If you guys remember with the P Diddy thing, it just took Cassie coming out, sticking her neck out, and then a whole bunch of women followed behind her, and then now it just seems like it just piles on from there, and it opens up the floodgate for people to either come out and be dishonest trying to get a check, or people that were scared to hide behind the pressure of being the first person to come out can now come out and say their piece. Um, I told you guys that last episode. I think that more is to be revealed as far as Meet the Grams go. I am not deleting that $3 verse. Everything I know about Kendrick to be in the past has been um, his lyrics seem to always unfold under time. Um, I don't, and people are, aside from the truth, with these allegations, guys. I told you it in this battle. It's about what punches land and what sticks. So if you're trying to assassinate somebody's character, we've all been in a roasting session. We've all got serious with somebody, and if it goes there, you may say things that are not necessarily true, but you are in the ballpark of someone's character, and it sticks and it hurts and it cuts deep. So like these things that are being alleged, isn't Kendrick isn't the first person to allude to these things. Like he said, it's not just me. Notice I say we. It's not just me. I'm what the culture feeling. So, and there's a lot of talk going on right now. They're doing everything in their power trying to um, they're doing a disinformation campaign or damage control campaign as they've done before. The Drake team, they've done this with Pusha T when LeBron went up there and went up there on the shot, or Drake went up there on the shop with LeBron and Maverick Carter and them, and this whole red button and Jay Prince talk, and I had this record that was going to destroy Pusha T. I just didn't want to take it there. Enough with that, man. Save that shit for somebody else, man. This is hip hop. I am no fool. People that's watching this are no fool. Well, can't speak on that, but I'm no fool. I see through that shit, man. If this was set up and you had a mole and you had this and that, you would have dropped that and you would have not given us that reaction on Instagram of surprise when they did what they did, and you look surprised that they even said what they said. That's just not how that works. And you would have came back that night or the next day with a record showing the proof and the receipts. And if you did not, then you're the idiot and you lost. That's just what it is, guys. Like everybody's like, he set him up. He set him up. Well, you got beat. What you got beat. You gave somebody a fake gun and he still shot you. So like, I don't. You gave him a prop gun and he still whooped your ass. So like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. He lost. And like, so shout out to academics for finally just realizing and seeing kind of the pulse of the culture and just saying, all right, it is what it is. We got to take this on the chin. This is what y'all did to Meek Mills. This is what y'all did to Meek Mills, dog. He was on tour. A lot of things happened with Meek Mill. We clowned him. We clowned him. No one gave him excuses. No one gave him passes. He got laughed off stage. So that's over, guys. You just got to take your L, and that's the problem with Drake's fans. Y'all are refusing to take your L. Now they're pulling up. Now that Kendrick stole these tweets and just all types of just stop it, guys. I'm exhausted from this shit. We're all exhausted. Speaking of exhaustion, gang, please keep your big head ass out of this shit, man. Can't shouldn't you be somewhere in Compton celebrating with them, man? You helped Kendrick Lamar along the way, man. You just move so disgusting to me, if you ask me. You always have. I mean, you've always been an attention seeker. But you're just too old for that shit. You got children my age. I mean, just give it a break, dude. You're dissing Rick Ross. You just trying to find the angle, dog. We see it. Everything is being revealed right in front of our eyes. We see it clear as day. We're not paying attention. And then you get up there and you pay DJ Academics to premiere your record. Come on, guys. Like we see what's going on, and I've had a fucking enough. I held my tongue for my first 4 episodes. I've had a fucking enough, guys. I've had enough. We need to go ahead and wrap this shit up so we can get on to the different conversations that we need to be having about a bigger war that's going on. Shout out to Stevie Wonder, but um, yeah, so the UMG Peter Rosenberg thing, I thought that was interesting just as far as how they both reported two different things. I kind of, like I said, I lend to believe that there are conversations that are being had. Um, Jack Dorsey is in support of Kendrick Lamar. So shout out to Jack Dorsey, former or was CEO of Twitter. If Jack Dorsey started Twitter. Elon Musk runs it now, but Jack Dorsey has been live on Twitter, and he shared Kendrick Lamar's Meet the Grams, and he said truth versus lies, and that he's in full support of Mr. Kung Fu Kenny. So I think that that is great for Kendrick. As far as the angle, because this is somebody that's obviously well versed on Twitter. He can distinguish between the bots. There's a lot of bots that are on Twitter. A lot of these pages, you click on them, it just has it's a fan page, or it's somebody with just these weird animation AVIs. There's just no human behind it, and it's just getting so obvious at this point. I mean, what are we doing, guys? It's like the Matrix anymore. I mean, it's just so crazy that we are allowing this to go on, and they're doing, and like I said, these troll bots are doing their best to kind of smear Kendrick Lamar's win and try to throw disinformation out there to try to muddy up the waters, dog. He lost. He lost fair and square. Not only that, they are going to launch an investigation on this pedo shit. The floodgates are opening. We're done. I've had enough. I had enough. And everybody out there watching, especially people in my home city, y'all shut y'all's asses up. I've been right every step of the way along the way. Y'all shut up. I ain't going back and forth with you guys on Facebook no more. You're fucking idiots. You've been idiots, guys. If you guys did a better job listening, not only to me, but lyrics, you would have gotten this a long time ago, okay? You guys don't listen to hip hop. You guys don't know hip hop. You guys have not been immersed in hip hop culture. You think hip hop started from the bottom, and that's your fucking problem. You're embarrassing. So that's that. Yeah, shout out to Jack Dorsey, man. I'm glad he's in Kendrick's corner. That's a good person to have. Lucian versus Lior. You guys know these are two powerful executive figures in the entertainment space. They run, but Mr. Lucy himself, the devil, he has majority of the shares. He controls a lot of the market, but Lior is a very powerful entity as well. He's done a lot of evil things. I'm not a big fan of neither of these two guys, but it is now being reported that they are at odds over this thing too. I don't know who's pulling whose strings or where the lineage lines up at, but there is definitely label wars going on, and this has been going on, guys, for years. If you've been paying attention with the Universal thing, taking TikTok off of the music off of TikTok and not letting their artists premiere TikTok. Hip hop lost its spot as the top genre. There was a massive layoff last year with a lot of execs and people in music. So there's a lot of shuffling going on. And I believe that's why me and some of the homies believe that a lot of this is contrived and a lot of this is kind of like funneled through to kind of generate a lot of buzz here within the hip hop space, because a lot of people owe some money. These execs have handed out, if everybody's in 360 deals and all these bad deals, well, that means these labels have handed out money up front and they need to recoup, right? So if they need to recoup and hip hop started to die, which it did, it got really, really stale and really, really boring and really, really dry. Then they're not getting their ROI. They're not getting their return on investment. So, here we are. And now we're at the center stage of the world. I mean, this is making front page news over everything right now, guys. So, hey, call me Mr. Conspiracy Theory, tinfoil hat, whatever you got to say. But there's some credence to what I'm saying as far as that goes. Also, if I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, but um, just know that um, it's very weird how everybody is picking a side, or I mean, or lack thereof. I mean, Kendrick done a great job at his angle of forcing people to choose a side. I mean, he called LeBron by name, he called Curry by name, he shouted out Serena, he shouted out DeMar DeRozan. He just did a brilliant job of pulling people, to separate themselves from Drake or make a choice. I mean, and he did it through the pedophilia accusations. I mean, it's just a brilliant angle. Some people could call it nasty. Some people could say it's sick. I think it's it's the craziest angle I've ever seen in a rap beef, necessarily at this magnitude. I mean, you got the Tupac and Biggie thing. We mentioned that Jay and I mean, we've gone over this, so I don't want to double back on that. But this angle is brilliant. It's almost like what Stanley Kubrick did towards the end of his career. It's like it's just very weird, the angle, and it's just very kind of haunting what Kendrick has done, as far as the industry goes. It's opened up a lot of avenues of people being looked at differently. I also seen that video of Mr. Dennis Graham out there whispering in that girl's ear. What are you whispering about to her to make her look like she's looking? And what are you doing at that party? With your nasty mustache and your big suits. What are you doing? What is this family doing? Do we really want to meet the Grahams? You know? And it's so pathetic that Kendrick had to be their evil therapist. That is just so goddamn shameful. And another thing is, like, Kendrick has been setting this up the whole time, guys. He took his family to therapy in real life, but he gave us the album of it. He's been tearing himself down and his savior complex down the whole time. And once he started doing that, I told my friends he was writing himself out of a box. He was writing himself out of a box that he put himself in, that he kind of climaxed at, and he peaked that. So when he did Mr. Morale, which I think is a brilliant body of work, I got a video coming on that soon, is that what that album really was tearing down his own savior complex and trying to get back to the root of himself within our culture so that he could do what he did today. Now Mr. Lamar can give y'all bops because the pressure is off of him of being such a social commentary artist that has to give us these big ass think pieces that we need for 5 or 6 years. He's done a brilliant job at that. I haven't. I mean, he's on a high end list as far as writers go and thinkers go, as far as these brilliant pieces of work that in time need to be dissected. I mean, I think of James Baldwin and Alex Haley, Malcolm X, and Maya Angelou, and just different writers, Tupac, Marvin Gaye, just these brilliant writers that have these bodies of works that stand these tests of time that we got to think about. So I think Kendrick is in of that lineage and of that elk. So shout out to him for that. But I also know that he had to write himself out of that angle so that way he can get back in the club. We got to get back in the club. I also posed last episode, have we seen a run like this in this little bit of time where just over this past month, so dating back to March, mid March, March 22nd, somewhere around there, he drops the Like That, with Future and Metro Boomin, which was the verse of the year up to that point. I mean, it was the song of the year up until that point. I mean, we were just last month, no one could stop saying these quotables. Fuck the big three, bomb, nigga, boom, and, aw, all those kind of one liners. Um, excuse me. Um, Kendrick had him. But then he comes out with Euphoria, and then it's as big as it is. And then now he even steps on Euphoria, which would have went number one, but he steps on his own record with They Not Like Us, which is now going to go number one. So he's really occupying the top spots on the charts. He's dominating the charts. I told you guys he's beaten Drake at every angle. It's been a masterful execution by him and his team, and that's what I want to get into next. Is the fact that you got to see how Drake's team has been moving and how Kendrick's team's been moving. It looks very silent over there at the OVO situation, honestly. And even the Young Money, Cash Money. I mean, we had Mac Main and Birdman come out in support of Drake early on in this beat, but that was before Kendrick was outside. We haven't heard much from them since the back and forth and since the tide has turned on the internet, and I just think it looks nasty. But on Kendrick's end, we've seen a slew of support over there. And I always tell people, I can tell a lot about a person by some of their cosigns as well. It's not always about, your lip service and all that shit you talk. Sometimes it's about who stands next to you for me. And when I seen Drake beefing with Pharrell, just some of the people he beefs with, it tells me like I don't I don't know these other people to be such bad individuals. And I don't understand why he's beefing with them. So it kind of tells me, it lends the credence of that. I think sometimes he's moving foul. So um, Kendrick's team has done a brilliant job. A lot, they tried the whole smear campaign with Whitney on why she's not online and why she's not disputing the claims. Because why would you? Why would you? We're still together. We're working through our thing. We're working through whatever we're working through, or we move past it. If you heard the album dummy, you would have realized that that was the core juxtapose of the album is Whitney and Kendrick's relationship and them working through that for their kids. But I don't think you really heard the record properly. So it's one of those records you got to spin a couple times. So I don't know if Drake has a lot of time to do that. He's trying to make back a lot of money and he's doing 113 shows and dropping an album every 3 months because he owes somebody some money. And that's what I try to tell y'all. And then Kanye comes out and tells y'all he got a rich baby daddy. Yeah, yeah, you owe them people some money, Drake. So that's just that. But um, yeah, Whitney is not obligated to come out, deny, or support Kendrick doing anything because if he did do it and she comes out and denies it, and then we find out he did it, then she looks goofy. If he didn't do it and she comes out and denies him, then she look like she's incriminating herself, and it just is. She doesn't. There's no need to do it. Um, the fact of the matter is, they may be working through their relationship, even if he did do something that is gross. I am in no rhyme or reason in support of abuse, physical abuse, especially to your wife. But I am here to tell you guys I don't have enough subscribers to lie to you guys. That happens in a lot of relationships. Y'all can't cancel me. Y'all can suck my fucking dick. Um, but it happens in a lot of relationships if everybody wants to be honest. Y'all can get on Twitter and lie about it all you want, but I know that in this community that I exist in, at least, it's pretty prevalent in our community. It's not that rare to. I live in an apartment complex. It's not that rare to hear two couples arguing, and a lot of times there's a physical exchange that goes on. Now, consistent abuse and stuff like that, hey, like I said, it's all inexcusable. It's all very damaging. But what I can tell you is the two differences of the allegations. We all know somebody that either knows somebody that has been in a physical abusive relationship, but I can't say that we all know somebody that sleeps with underage kids. I think that one of them is a lot more rare than the other, and I'm not comparing traumas. Um, but I'm just trying to point out the fact of the matter here. And again, I dare anybody to get on here trying that Me Too cancel shit. It ain't gonna work over here, guys. It doesn't work here. Trust me. I'm a kamikaze effort. I don't give a fuck. So save that for somebody else. It ain't gonna work. Um, we just tell flat out truths here. I just call it like I see it. I'm not into the business of playing semantics and all this whole I'm not trying to get canceled shit on Twitter. I don't give a fuck about y'all or that. Okay. I am actually doing these videos so I can archive them in time. Hopefully, we're around long enough that my kid can kind of see my thought process and my thought patterns during the time of these situations that I'm covering. That's what I'm doing this for, as an art piece for myself. So y'all can suck my fucking dick. But yeah, the Whitney thing is weird. I wish they would stop. That angle's whack. Y'all got to try a new angle. As far as receipts go, y'all asked for receipts, and now women are coming out. Um, the floodgates are now open, man. I thought that was a slippery slope that y'all introduced, man. Y'all want receipts? All right. And like I said, I ain't deleting no verse on Meet the Grams. I gotta see. I've seen this artist that I'm dealing with. I've seen things that he said 10 years ago come to fruition just this year. So I'm not deleting shit. I ain't deleting a damn thing. We gonna see. We gonna fucking see. And that's what I gotta say about that. Like I said, if you notice, there's just silence on one end as far as Kendrick goes. He hasn't said anything, and then Drake is doing his best to kind of narrate the internet. It's not gonna work, man. We see the records, we heard the records, and Maul, you look pathetic. You look so god. damn pathetic. And Demarius saved your ass by jumping in because that long awkward silence that you gave was pathetic. As a man, I mean, man to man, that's just pathetic. Just stop. And if you're on the payroll, man, just tell them to up the fucking price because dude, they got you out here looking fucking silly. You're not getting paid enough to go out there and sacrifice your journalistic integrity to do what you're doing. He lost. Okay, academics came out like he lost, or he's losing. He lost, and quite frankly, guys, we're done. The beef of this is the meat and potatoes of this is done. Okay, no, we don't expect these guys to stop throwing shots on records. They're going to throw shots on records. I'm now hearing that Drake has a scary hour. You know, he might have some diss album, but like Kendrick has one first. So just stop. The media shit has got to stop. It was fun while it lasted. Y'all gave us an iconic moment, iconic week, but enough is enough. Enough is enough. We've had enough. But you know, let me know what you guys think. I just ultimately think that Kendrick outclassed him in every way. I mean, the bars, the one-liners. Um, what Drake is really good at, guys, is I've always said he's really a smooth rhymer, but he'll rhyme things. He rhymes in pocket a lot, but he's also rhyming things like Mike, tight, kite, things like that. And I'm not saying it's as simple as that. But you know, in the Hard Part Six, he talks about excavations and stuff like that. And I thought that that was a unique rhyme. And when you hear that on your ear, it stands out a little bit different because that's a harder word to rhyme. So when you hear those certain words being thrown out, you know that somebody's lyrically into a different mode because it's like, okay, if you write excavation, you got to think of three or four different words that rhyme with that, which is a lot harder than to think of three or four words that rhyme with, you know, flights. You know, so that's the lyrical denseness, and I thought Kendrick outclassed him in that. If you go back and listen to the records, the in between stuff, besides the punches, besides the bars, besides the metaphors, the in between stuff, there was a lot more. He jam packed a lot more stuff in there, a lot more challenging words. He challenged his stuff a lot more. Then I also thought he punched harder. All of the punches belonged to Kendrick in this sense, and a lot of people that had held that critique over him for a long time that he didn't have a lot of one-liners, he didn't have punchline bars, but I think he showcased y'all. I mean, he learned y'all a lesson that he punched y'all the whole time. Y'all also need to go back and listen to America's Got a Problem by Kendrick. He foreshadowed a lot of this. I've been telling y'all for a long time. He talks about Universal, the music group. Please don't play possum. I'm a businessman doing as follows. And he says, truthfully, I'll be lying in my rap songs. Says that he really just lied. He's a Gemini, man. He got two different sides. One side he's given to us, but really he's not as sanctified as we think he is. So, you know, Drake coming from that angle, I always thought was whack because the listeners kind of got that. He tried to get ahead of the pedo accusations, but I knew that wasn't gonna work. It was like, you know, when he did that whole Tupac thing, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get to that, all right. I knew this was coming, man. And there's another angle that Kendrick would have punched from if it need be. Macklemore, you ruined it though. That song. Macklemore dropped this song, guys, about Israel and Palestine, and now y'all get what I was alluding to. But I wish he would just stop. He shouldn't even be outside when Kendrick's outside. Matter of fact, that's how I feel. The only way he should be outside if Kendrick's outside if he is walking that Grammy to Kendrick's doorstep. That's the only way. But besides that, you know, low hanging fruit. Yeah, you're in support, but like I don't want to hear from Macklemore. I damn sure don't want to hear from the game. I don't want to hear Rick Ross exchanging things. I do want some young MCs to understand and benefit from this and see kind of how you control the culture, man. We do this through bars and music. All these other gimmicks that y'all are doing, 21 Savage, the baby, Lil Baby, you know, making Oreo sandwiches with Mike Rubin and Meek Mill and Kyle Kuzma. Just get off those fucking boats, guys, and go make records. Lil Baby, we've been waiting on you for, well, we're not waiting no more, but like, you know, what a flop, you know. I'm just so exhausted, man. I'm just so exhausted, but I am glad. I do want to shout out to Kendrick and Drake for putting on an epic performance. J. Cole, you still tucked your tail and ran. I also knew during the time when J. Cole did it, me and Hunter talked about it a lot. We're like, you know, obviously he did it for a reason. We know he got a call. He knew where this was going. He knows both of these guys. He definitely knows Kendrick, and I'm sure Kendrick and his team told him, no, we're about to take this shit to hell. Get out the way. So I knew that when I even said what I said about J. Cole. I just thought the self awareness or the unawareness of the moment is what makes it look bad for Cole. It's like, why would you think Kendrick was playing anyway? I I don't know where y'all got that. I never at any point thought Kendrick was going to be playing. I knew he would take it to hell quickly to get a dub, which is what he did. So the other people out there in the media, rap roundtable, I'm watching y'all too. Y'all need to do better. Yeah, so a lot of y'all just need to do better as far as reporting this and kind of what's going on. I'm so sick of not the biases on either side, but I'm just so sick of the lazy angles that you guys think from. Like, where are the thinkers at? Is there thinkers anymore? Like, where are these people at seeing the bigger picture and what's going on? I thought Joe Budden hit the nail right on the head. It's like, dog, save all that shit for somebody else. Make your lies sting harder, or understand that the angle that your opponent's coming from. Respect your opponent, and your job is to be. You're supposed to be battle tested and battle savvy, but here you are making all the rookie mistakes. You shot yourself in the foot 3 or 4 times during this battle. Not to mention, you let him slap you up and dictate the pace the whole battle. And a lot of people aren't seeing it like that. He smeared him. He did the dog. This is a rap battle at the end of the day, and we know Kendrick controlled the pace. He dropped on a Tuesday instead of a Friday. Threw you off whack. You responded to him. No, he dropped on a Tuesday and then he dropped on a Friday, back to back. You said, that was the trap. You thought you back to back him. He still took his time. He still took 17 days. You did your push ups and then you did your tailor made thing. I don't move on your time. He still came out with Euphoria and came out on the attack. He came out on the attack. He did not defend none of that bullshit you were saying in push ups, man. The whole scissor thing, the 21 Savage thing. Save that shit for somebody else, guys. Save it, man. Like, please. So I want them to start wrapping this up. We do want to like that video. I'm gonna make when that like that or I'm sorry, excuse me, the They Not Like Us video comes out. I'm gonna get that framed up, kind of like that Memorial's Day beatdown last year. I think it was that Memorial's Day when they got off that boat and beat all them people's ass. They were swimming across and beating all them white folks up. That was crazy. I need to get that picture painted and hung up too. But I'm gonna get that along with the They Not Like Us video. I'm gonna get some sort of that frame and pixelated and hung up in my room because it's an iconic moment, guys. Um, I always talk to my friends about, like, living in the moment and try to understand the time. Um, I always wonder how it will feel to be outside and be an adult when Hit 'Em Up came out. Me and my friends will always talk about it, or when Ether came out. But like we're in the midst of that right now, so I'm gonna soak it in. I'm gonna revel in it. And my guy came out the victor, and to the victors go the spoil. And fuck you, Drake, and fuck your fans because they are delusional and they think that hip hop started there, and that's just delusional. And y'all are wrong. Y'all were wrong the whole time. Y'all were loud and wrong, and I am going to use this whole summer to throw it in your face and rub egg in your face. Um, but you guys, again, let me know what you think. I don't think it's necessarily over as far as these guys exchanging shots. I think there's more to come. I really hope Drake doesn't step on the like that. They're Not Like Us video. I got a feeling he might try that angle. I think he just needs to take a few months off. He needs to just go on vacation for a few years. This is a perfect opportunity, Drake. Listen to me. Word to God. This is a perfect opportunity. You're tired, you're exhausted, your abs hurt, you keep wearing that vest, your skin is starting to look dry. You're gaining a little bit of weight in the face. You kind of starting to look old. Your braids is a little bit too tight. Take a couple years off, Drake. I'm telling you, this is your best opportunity. Take a few years off. Let them miss you like we miss Kendrick, and then you come back with some slaps. I'll do a greatest hits collection if I was you when I came back. I'll just do a greatest hits to test the waters. I'll do a greatest hits, throw all my greatest hits on one track, 25 of them motherfucking slappers, throw it on, then I'll come out with an album maybe a year from there. But just take a few years off. You can't. You can't. And that's the sad part. That's the difference. And that's what I want to close on. That's the difference, Drake. You can't even take a few years off. You gonna let your fans know why? Hmm? You gonna let them know what you and Yachty was up to? Hmm? You want to explain to them why you dropped 4 albums in the last year and a half? Who are you fucking? Or who's fucking you? Why does your house keep getting invaded? What are they hiding? What are they distracting us from? Hmm? We've seen this tactic with Diddy. I'm not sure if they was really raiding Diddy's house or going in there to take something that might have been evidence to incriminate them. This is the know-it-all. This is Lord of Lips, and I want to leave it off on that mystery. Peace.